Well, I'm in my excruciating hot garage. I've opened it, let the air out a little bit. One of the main reasons I came over to our shelf here full of dangerous chemicals. Just kidding. It's just paints and various other non-lethal stuff. There's a coolant for the GM vehicles, of course, on the second shelf because they need their own special coolant. As well as carb cleaners and stuff like that. But the main reason I got over to the shelf is I wanted to show you what's in this box right here. It's a pretty beat down little box. It's I don't know guesstimation of how old it is. I'd probably go look for you on the internet and we can make a video there too, of course. But this is a carburetor. I got this out of my grandma and grandpa's shed when my grandpa passed away. And my grandma said, well, take that carburetor and try and see if it'll work on your truck. And I laughed because I knew it wouldn't, because it's such a narrow little carburetor. It won't even work on that pickup truck. It's a 2-barrel though, you know, in that sense, that's what she was thinking. But it won't fit the intake manifold as well. Okay. On this box, it says it's a Delco carburetor. From what I've been told from one of my auto shop teachers is you can read this number, type it in on the internet, and you can find out what the application was for. Now, from what experience my automotive teacher told me, he thinks it's from a Ford 2-barrel carburetor off of a flathead V8, or just like a 6-cylinder or something like that for back in the day, but it's like an early 50s. He's guesstimating the late 40s. Weirdest thing I found out about this, it's a Delco built carburetor because it's even got, there's a special tab on this carburetor. It says GM on it, and there's another picture of the part that it's got for it, the part number and stuff like that. Looks like, and they put their remanufacture date when they remanufactured it, rebuilt it. It says GM 1973 carburetor. And then plus the item number and all that good stuff. But it is a Ford carburetor, because when you start looking around on it, you can find it's got like a blue oval. It's got the blue oval symbol on the carburetor itself. Yep, there it is on the float bowl. So there's that Ford emblem. Not a bad little carb. This one you can actually show the workings on it. This is the idle quality control screws for both barrels on it. And you can see that these screws, they're supposed to pass through, and they have like a needle type head, and there's a little hole right there you can see in the center there. That's where those holes go through. That's where the screws come through for your idle quality. In the back here you have the jets, the big brass screws. On this carburetor it's unique because fuel comes in. This is your fuel float bowl. The fuel goes directly into here, down into here, fills up that chamber. And then through the venturi, you can kind of see the venturi. It's those two with the 2 screws on it. That's where the venturi is, and then it's got the butterfly for cold start in the winter time, all operated off of this linkage. I've tried to keep it as best I can lubed because it's been sitting so long. You know, it's not been any vehicle. I don't have a vehicle for it. I've been told a couple of times by my dad and my auto shop teacher to try and see if I can sell it or not, but I haven't really. There's not a lot of people around here who have Ford 2-barrels. There's a choke, it's closed. That's what happens when you prime it. See how I got the butterfly to close there? And then when it heats up, it just kicks it back. But when I don't need it, it does that. So then the accelerator linkage, you can see the butterflies. Yep, right there. They're still opening. So it's not a seized carb, which is good. It's a very, very basic carb though. I don't know, like I showed you those are very tiny ports for it. Other than that, it's a unique little carburetor. That's the power valve, if any of you are wondering. It's got an external power valve. A lot of the newer Ford with carburetors had a casing around it, which would be a single stage or a dual stage power valve for the carburetor. Plus vacuum ports on the sides there. That one's going into the jet. I mean into the Venturi chamber. I'm not sure what it'd be for. This one, this looks like a blocked off vent for the intake. That goes onto the intake. Very interesting little carburetor. Very interesting. I've loved it ever since I got it. I've just liked to experiment. I haven't taken it apart yet, but I've just liked to view it and show you guys what a carburetor is, basically. Not much else to say about this carb. There is rebuilt by an independent rebuilder. So it was kind of like a branch off of GM that was rebuilding carburetors back in the 70s, like early 70s for this carb. Other than that, it's a really nice carb. Not been used at all. I don't know if I want to sell it or not. I've kind of been keeping it for antique purpose as well. I've only got like 3 antiques from my grandparents' house, basically. I consider them really good antiques. One would be this carburetor, a fan, and then like a woodworking project they had that was built by this guy back in the 1920s. So this is my little carburetor. I was gonna show off to this one guy. His name is username's 1969 Mustang Mach 1. This hubcap I have, this came off of an early first generation 69 or 68, I think it was, and a half Mustang, Ford Mustang. This, my old 8th grade auto shop teacher gave this to me, and I started researching around, and I figured out how when they use these hubcaps with this style of closed vents, generally on a lot of them they're pointed, but they have open ventage on them. This is all closed, but it has the Mustang symbol in the center. I just got curious one day. This isn't the right size fitting one, but I wanted to see if it would fit on my Ford pickup, and it didn't, so I thought it would have been funny to have a Mustang hubcap on it. But I just sometimes hangs up above there where that American flag is, or I can just put it wherever I need to, but it's an heirloom. I like it. It's fun. It's a good hubcap. Pretty good condition for what I have it in. Can't forget the Mustang symbol. It's the only thing of a Mustang I will probably ever get unless I be a millionaire. Well, that's it for my old stuff, guys. Later on, I guess, and make a video of it. Be that 1940s, it'd be late 40s, early 50s fan GE that I got. So look forward to that in